the nation's favourite antiques experts.
Let's get fancy.
Behind the wheel of a classic car.
I'm always in turbo.
And a goal to scar Britain for antiques.
Hot stuff.
The aim to make the biggest profit at auction. But it's no mean feat. There'll be worthy winners.
Cha-ching!
Oh, my goodness.
And valiant losers.
Bonkers.
Will it be the high road to glory?
You are my ray of sunshine.
Oh, stop it.
Or the slow road to disaster?
Sorry.
This is Antiques Road Trip. Yeah. Strap yourselves in. It's road tripping time.
I have a feeling this week will be full of giggles.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Oh, yes, definitely.
We're hitching a ride with this classy pair of dealers. The debonair Mark Hill and Irita, the force of nature, Marriott.
I feel very tall in this car, do you?
I feel very tall in this car. Actually, I have to drive like an old lady like this. Because basically, if I sit upright, there's a thing I know.
Of course you can't see.
The drawbacks of a classic model. In this case, a 1967 Triumph Herald.
I'm excited about this.
So am I. So am I.
Oh, me too. Irita from Derbyshire is an old hand on the road trip.
So excited.
She loves a bit of porcelain
It's a bargain.
and always buys with her heart.
I'm sizzling.
While Surrey boy Mark is embarking on his second road trip contest.
What will I find?
He has a passion for dapper threads
Here goes nothing.
and mid-20th century design.
Ooh, hello.
Our antiquarian motorists are on an adventure across the southern counties of England. Starting off in Surrey, they'll travel through East Anglia before heading to a final auction in Sevenoaks.
We're off.
We're off.
Out into the wilds of Surrey.
Do you dare?
Oh, I definitely dare, because this, not only is it a home county, it is my home county. I grew up here. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
This is not fair. We should not be starting on your home ground.
Why do you think it gives me a little bit of an advantage?
I wouldn't say so.
They may be setting off in Surrey, but their rambling road trip will take them hither and thither across the home counties. First, we're in Bad Shot Lee, on the outskirts of Farnham.
Here we go,
Are
yay!
you excited?
I am, how are you?
I'm very excited.
I can see you're off already. Leave something for me.
You snooze, you lose.
This is the Antiques Warehouse, a pair of Elizabethan barns packed to the rafters with collectibles. Let's get to business.
Do you recognise this face?
Oh, you spotted something.
Now, you go in any antique shop. One thing you will 100% find there is a tea set. This one is a tad different. Hence, in this shop, it might not have been spotted, because if you do not know what the mark on the base means, you won't know what it's worth. It's something that I have bought plenty of times. All it has is monogram and numbers on the bottom. You need to know that that monogram stands for Wildman Pottery, which is the early Shelley. Great shape, great colour. I mean, it's rather nice.
And rather collectible. Wildman & Co. was formed in 1872, manufactured in the Foley China Works in Staffordshire. The company rebranded as Shelley in the early 20th century in a trademark dispute with other potteries. And there you have it.
Let's have a look. What does it say? £165. Oh my goodness, I got expensive taste.
Could be a sleeper, but it's certainly a gamble. How's Marky Boy getting on?
Now, this I really like. So what we're looking at is a sort of sauce ladle, or punch ladle, I suppose. I love the elegance of this long, turned boxwood handle, and then the simplicity of this bowl with this really nicely engraved design around the rim. But what's kind of interesting for me is it says Victorian punch ladle with white metal bowl. It really feels to me like it's silver plate rather than silver. But it's got a price tag of £28 on it. I mean, I just think that's practical and elegant. Nice. I think that's a possibility.
Super! Now, Irita has already earmarked that pricey porcelain. Has she found anything cheaper?
I'm trying to sidetrack myself right now, and that is because I want to buy a tea set. I don't particularly want to spend that much money on it. I feel like it's a massive risk for the first shop, first trip. I've always said, trust your gut, though. That's exactly, I think, what I'm going to do.
You go, girl. Let's get Hilary in.
Hilary,
Hello.
I've got a question for you.
Right.
Now, can you see that tea set? You know, that very average looking
No, it's a
tea
very
set.
prettiest one I've got, actually.
Now, you got £165 on it. What is your... There's no haggling involved.
Oh, well, that's good. That's a relief.
Very simple.
Yes.
What is your death on it?
I can make it 120. Get your money out.
I'm not excited at all. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'll put the money there.
Pleasure.
Very chilled right now.
Good.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Wowzers, that's a fantastic price. £120 paid for the set, including 8 trios, milk jug, sugar bowl and 2 cake plates, leaving Irita with £80. She'll have it wrapped and sent on to the auction. Lovely.
Job done.
Meanwhile, Mark is still browsing away.
I rather like this. It looks like a furled umbrella. So you've got this leather-covered body here, even showing the sort of furls of the umbrella. And then we've got the point of the umbrella here and the handle made of wood. But actually, if you pull it open and pull the top of the umbrella off, you've got what looks to me like a needle case. Now, sewing accessories and knitting accessories, along with this whole sort of rise in fashion for crafting, doing things at home to entertain and teach and make something lovely, we've always done that. And I think we've seen a rise in interest and a rise in values for the antiques related to them. And I think this probably dates from the Victorian era, or maybe even perhaps the Edwardian era, sort of 1880, 1910. I rather like this. Price is £75. I'm going to take this with me and find out what they can do.
To the front desk we go.
Hi, Hilary.
Hello, Mark.
I have found 2 things in the smorgasbord of antique delights I would like to buy.
Oh, good. Wonderful.
The first is this needle case in a rather
Yes.
natty shape of an umbrella.
Very nice.
So that might be...
60... Or... You were hoping for a bit more, perhaps 50.
50? I'm liking this. £50.
I'll have to take
okay.
a punt, yes.
And now we have the ladle as well. But before we start with the ladle, I have to ask you a question. So it says white metal, and I'm not sure whether it's white metal or silver plate. What do you think?
Well, we have actually tested it, and it is silver.
Excellent.
Continental, probably 850, something like that.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Can you do anything?
Priced at 28, remember?
I'm awfully sorry, I can't.
I don't blame you.
'Cause you know it's a snip, so...
Yeah, exactly. I will pay you in that case. £78 in total.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Smashing. 28 on the ladle and 50 on the needle case, leaving Mark with £122 to go on with.
Right.
With his purchases safely stowed in the boot, Mark motors on. Cheerio, old boy. We'll catch up later. Meanwhile, Irita has travelled to the historic market town of Farnham to learn about a divisive figure from the 19th century. A man who stood up for the working class, but also held questionable beliefs that have tarnished his status as a radical reformer, William Cobbett. Irita's meeting Dr. Richard Thomas, chairman of the William Cobbett Society, at the eponymous pub.
Hello there, Richard.
Hello.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. William Cobbett became famous for a number of things, writing a whole series of best-selling books, an English grammar, history of the Protestant Revolution, cottage economy, but the one he's remembered for today is Rural Rides, which he wrote from 1821 for the next 6 or 8 years, travelled around southern England, looking at the state of farming, state of agriculture, state of the rural economy. And he liked some of what he saw, and he hated other stuff, which was basically the increasing poverty of the rural community.
Cobbett was a self-taught man who believed that the government's policies favoured the wealthy and exploited the poor. In 1802, he launched a weekly newspaper called the Political Register and used it to attack the establishment and major political figures of the day. Sound familiar?
How many people would you say read his newspaper?
Well, I think the official sales were something like 40,000 to places like pubs, and would have been read to an audience of 20, 30, 40, 100 people. So he may have sold 40,000, but that means 200,000 people knew what he was saying. And that was a significant part of the population that was interested in what was going on. So what Cobbett was saying, everybody wanted to know, both the elite and the workers. And the fact that when he adopted a cause or attacked somebody, they knew it, because everybody else knew it. And people he would attack suddenly would find 100 people outside their houses booing at them in London, which was great for him, but not for his popularity with the government.
Cobbett believed Parliament needed reform. At the time, the south of England was overrepresented in government because of rotten boroughs, constituencies controlled by wealthy landowners. However, after a huge amount of pressure, voting reform was passed, allowing greater representation in Parliament.
So, Richard, William came from a countryside. How did he cope with all the changes with the Industrial Revolution?
Well, he wasn't against change. He was, in fact, he was in favour of using the new crops, the new equipment, and making farming more efficient. But as long as it didn't hurt or put out of work the farm employees, and he was very keen to make sure that they didn't get poorer, which, of course, in many cases they did.
Cobbett's main political opponent was William Wilberforce, the great abolitionist. The two men were both reformers but held wildly different views. Cobbett championed the rural English working class, but was also deeply prejudiced, holding what we would consider today to be racist and anti-Semitic points of view. Lordy.
He has a very mixed reputation because some of the stuff he wrote was apparently bonkers. He attacked tea, for example. Why attack tea? Well, he said it's less nutritious than beer, which is what he was recommending. And you can't make tea at home. You have to buy it from India. You can make beer at home. So sensible in a way, but pretty mad in some other ways. And he was constantly doing that. Well, this statue is one of, has been up for a number of years now, and it does summarise his career very well. It says, champion of democracy, the corruption, the stealing of the wealth by the rich away from the poor, and that was something he felt extremely strongly about.
Cobbett died in 1835. He was a radical yet flawed reformer. Despite his unacceptable views, we should still recognise his role in extending the rights of the oppressed and the disenfranchised in Britain. Back on the road, Mark and the Herald are bound for their next shop in Hartley Whitney, where they'll find White Lion antiques. This former coaching inn has 100 cellars spread across 3 floors of showrooms. Plenty of choice for Marky Boy and his £122.
Ooh, now I like these. So just as we've seen mid-century modern West German pottery rising through the ranks and becoming highly sought after and collectible, we're now seeing exactly the same with mid-century modern Italian pottery. And here are a couple of examples that really catch my eye. So looking at this sort of speckly, mottled, textured glaze here. And these sort of nautical scenes, it makes me think immediately of a company called Fratelli Fanciulacci. Bit of a mouthful.
Fratelli Fanciulacci were a pottery based near the River Arno in Florence. In 1966, the river flooded, destroying the factory, making pieces from before this date very collectible.
I love these mugs. I have never seen this little elephant head handle on here. Sort of a strange combination, isn't it, really? An elephant's head on Italian pottery. But again, so typical of the factory. And I love the colour combination, pink and light blue. So of the period and so typical of this factory. So what are we looking at? We're looking at a pair of mugs for £9.95 and a dish for £8 whole. So you're looking at 18 quid, basically. My one concern about this is that although they're becoming increasingly collectible, it's primarily online and sort of through dealers and at fairs, and I'm just not quite sure how they're going to go in a traditional auction. But you know what? I'm really passionate about them. I love them, and I think I'm going to give it a go.
Time to see Emma on the till.
Hello.
Hello.
Amazing centre.
It is.
It's huge.
Yes, it is.
I'd like to buy these, please.
Okay.
I think we are at about £18.
I think so, yeah.
Wonderful. Here we go. £18.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
I think I've made the right decision.
I think you have.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Another lot to the good. And still £104 in the kitty. Rightio, time to pick up your new mate, Irita.
I feel like I need to put a hairbrush in my handbag for tomorrow.
I think we both need one of those because mine starts looking like a bit of a toupee that's like beginning to come off.
We'll be like scarecrows.
Scarecrow and Wiggy.
Indeed. And on that note, nighty-night. Morning all. We're back underway and it's time to compare notes.
Do I need to be worried?
No, not at all. Don't look at me like that.
I think you're hiding your talent under a bushel. I think that's it. That's the smile of confidence.
Or the grimace of someone who's spent most of their money.
I actually splurged yesterday. I spent £120 on one thing in my first shop.
Confidence. I told you, the smile of confidence.
How was your first day shopping, though?
I enjoyed it. I bought a few things.
Few things?
Yeah.
More than a few, actually. Yesterday, Mark bought an Italian mid-century square dish with elephant-handled espresso cups, a 19th century silver punch ladle, and a Victorian umbrella-shaped needle case. As you do.
I rather like this.
Leaving him £104, a little over half his original budget, while Irita splurged a chunk of her cash on a Wildman porcelain tea set.
They got expensive taste.
Leaving just £80 for the rest of her shopping.
So what do you want to find today?
Anything I can afford?
She'll be looking for bargains, that's for sure. Their travels today will take in a trio of counties. First off, it's Eversley in Hampshire, where Irita, having deposited her buddy, will find her next shop. Eversley Barn Antiques, owned and run by Judy.
Oh, this looks lovely.
This gets better inside. The barn dates from the 16th century and it's chock-a-block full of nice items.
I used to use one of these to put a fire on at home. Oh, it's nice.
You might need that to axe some prices because you've only got £80 to spend in here.
I should find something sparkly because I haven't bought anything sparkly as yet. Which lady does not like a perfume? Well, I do not know one. These are rather lovely. We got cut glass scent bottle, silver top, lovely to have the stopper. Lovely cut glass. Oh, when you hold it in your hands, you can feel every tiniest bit that has been cut by a wheel. And then a dispenser. I mean, I would be big in scent if I could afford to buy these too. And even bigger into it if it would make a profit at auction.
You'll have to get the ticket price from dealer Judy later. Meanwhile, anything else catch your eye?
A lump of cast iron? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, what even is that? A planter? It's rather nice. So it's not giving any clues away to where it started its life from. So I think I need to ask Judy whether she knows where it came from. Judy?
Hi, what have you found, Rita?
Well, I'm looking at this.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
And I'm thinking it's rather nice for, you know, wine cooler or a planter or...
Perfect. But do you know what it was originally?
No.
It's Victorian, and it's a coal scuttle from a first-class railway carriage.
What?
Yeah, I know. Posh, isn't it?
So what, they would have had coal in that?
Yeah. And they'd have had a little fire in the first class, and that's what they would have used it for.
Now, while you're here,
Yeah.
it has no price tag.
Okie dokie.
I've seen that. Mm-hmm. Then you had some scent bottles.
OK, yeah, cool.
The silver one,
Yeah.
silver-topped ones.
Yeah.
4 of them.
You could have those for 70.
Can I?
Yeah, that and the perfume bottles you could.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like a good deal to me. That leaves Irita with just £10 in her kitty.
Thank you for having
Good luck
me.
at auction.
I know. Keep your fingers crossed. See you later.
See you later.
She'll have the coal bucket sent onto the sale room and get back in the motor.
Come on, Harold. We're off for a day out together.
Now, Mark has made his way to Ascot, world famous for its racecourse. He's meeting Andy Palethorpe, one of the track's iconic bowler hat stewards, to learn about the origins and history of this British institution.
So where are we right now? So obviously the racecourse must be over there.
We're in the parade ring.
Right.
The horses, the trainers, the owners, and the jockeys will come out and meet their groups, and that's where it all starts, before the race.
So I see it says 4th, 3rd, 2nd. I'm
Yeah,
guessing
well,
that's something to do with winning.
That's exactly it. Quite a prestigious place to be. 2nd, 3rd and 4th, as you say. The winners is behind me. This is where it all happens.
Horse racing is the second biggest spectator sport in the country, known as the sport of kings. James I was scolded by Parliament for spending too much time at Newmarket races, and thanks to Charles II, every thoroughbred you find on the turf today can be traced back to the sires from the Stuarts era. At Ascot, it was Queen Anne who played a key part in its history.
So how did it come about? Why Ascot?
1711, Queen Anne, a Stuart monarch, that long ago, used to ride her horses out on the heath, and she thought this is a good idea for horse gallops, for maybe races. It started off with 4 horse races with landowners putting their horses against other landowners and lords and ladies and whatever, and that's how it all started.
The first race at Ascot was called Her Majesty's Plate for a prize of 100 guineas and took place on the 11th of August, 1711. It continues to be contested as the Queen Anne Stakes. The next important royal in Ascot's history was George IV. His patronage of Ascot made it one of the most fashionable social occasions of the year, with the famous dandy Beau Brummel establishing a strict dress code that is still observed today.
Now, if I came to Royal Ascot, I couldn't really wear this, could I? Because I think there's a dress code. So talk to me about
There
this.
certainly is a dress code. Men, top hats, tails, and smart appearance.
So this is full
size.
morning dress, effectively.
Full morning dress, grey or black.
Grey or black top hat?
Yeah. And ladies, hats, of course, or fascinator, and dress. We've got the fashion police here anyway, so you wouldn't get away with it. So they're going around.
So
You've
they
got-
check everybody before they come in
Oh
to
yeah,
make
they'll
sure.
be about.
Okay.
But we can adapt. We've got things, if they've forgotten something, you know, where we can sort you out.
So you have a full wardrobe hidden somewhere with top hats and things
I
in
wouldn't
it.
say a full wardrobe, but maybe the odd fascinator here and there.
350,000 people attend Royal Ascot over 5 days every June. And to accommodate the crowds, the current grandstand was built in 2006. Spectators from across the country flock to Ascot, where they can dress to the nines, just as Beau Brummel intended, and take in the thrill of the races.
Wow, what a view. That's amazing.
Yes.
So having been here and seen all of this and listened to you today, I kind of get the sense that this isn't the end for Ascot. It's going to continue.
That's right, not at all. In 1813, there was an Act of Parliament which secured racing on Ascot Heath. And here we are, all those centuries later, still going racing. Long may it continue.
Is that the sound of a galloping horse rounding the final bend? Of course not. It's Irita in the Herald.
Oh, intro attempt gear 3. Oh. Honestly, me in gear 3 in this car. I prefer gear 4, sorry, gear 3. Because remember, I'm always in turbo. I'm not the gear 1 kind of person.
She's right. She's putting the pedal to the metal en route to Bagshot in Surrey and her final stop-off, Cubbit Antiques.
The last chance to splash the cash.
Ha ha ha, a jest of course. Irita only has £10 left to shop with.
Hello? Blimey, what a shop. I mean, if you need a fireplace, you're in heaven, basically.
Yes, it's a rather lovely selection of antiques, design pieces and salvaged architecture. Not exactly cheap, though.
Every single one of these crystals are hand-cut. They are absolutely incredible. This is £14,000. That is £14,000 in pure crystal.
Yes, it's rather out of your budget. Anyway, best carry on looking. Meanwhile, over the border in Berkshire, Mark has arrived in Warfield. He's shopping at the Old Grain Barn Antiques. He has £104 to spend here, and with 2 floors worth of showroom, plenty of choice.
Ha 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 ha. I love these. And no, it's not a sort of dinner dome for a mouse or a rabbit or something. You lift this up and inside you would have found a muffin or another piece of toast. This is a muffin warmer. So if I pop the lid down, the dome down, and pull the tray out here, you'd put hot water in here, put the tray back on, put your muffins in here, or your little toasts or breads or whatever they may be, put the dome on the top, and it would keep your muffins or your toast toasty warm. Because after all, who really likes eating cold toast if you're going for dinner or lunch or breakfast or something like that? It's a wonderful piece of sort of Victorian invention, and these were introduced in the late Victorian period for keeping toasts and muffins warm. It's got a lovely little ebony handle on the top. If I turn it over, it is indeed silver plate, which is fairly standard, but it says Selfridges. Selfridges and EPNS. EPNS is not English pure natural silver, it is electroplated nickel silver. But for £6, I think that's really quite a cute thing. I'm going to pop it back there for the moment and keep on looking. Focus on the game.
Jolly good. Now, is Irita having any luck back in Bagshot?
Hello? Oh my goodness. Hello?
Hello,
Wow. Are you Matthew?
I am indeed. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What a place!
Thank you very much.
It is incredible.
Oh, we like to think so.
She's buttering you up first. Now brace yourself, Matt.
I don't think I can afford to beat around the bush.
Okay.
Don't give me that look.
Okay, well...
I'm very scared to come clean. That's not like me.
No problem.
I've been busy shopping and I have very little money in my pocket.
Yes. I feel I know what's coming.
Have you got like a trash bin that I could buy?
So I've got something in mind for you.
Go on.
This way.
Sounds ominous.
I thought you were joking. I was only having a laugh about
Well-
the bin. Are you being serious?
You did mention a rubbish bin. So for £5, there you go.
Is that what I can afford here?
Yep. And you get to keep everything inside.
Wow.
Could even be a money spider in there. So you might make
Well,
something at
I
auction.
might get lucky.